It's Thanksgiving week and a lot of stuff, a lot of distractions going on. So haven't been able to get to day 2 until now, but let's go ahead and get started. So I did get some feedback, and apparently I picked a doozy of a campaign to start. This is a goofy rule one. Probably should have maybe picked something else, but I was just trying to pick something with standard difficulty that had a long campaign. And I mixed them all together. I honestly don't know how to tell which ones came from expansions and which ones did not. I know in Eagle Leader there was like wording on it that you could tell which expansion it came from. I don't see that on this one. It doesn't mean that I'm looking at the right places, but I definitely don't know what I was told this was from expansion 6, but I have no way of knowing that it's from expansion 6 by looking at it. So anyways, let's get going. Okay, our loyalty is at 5, which means we get to draw 5. I think the last time we drew a scramble, which is why we couldn't do more than one. There are some secondaries on this, and if you recall, the victory points can't add up to even close to a great rating unless we unlock the second set of targets, which requires us to move the ops counter to eventually become the UN no-fly zone active, which is right here. We did move it once. We'd have to move it 2 more times before we can unlock the extra targets, which are going to be higher victory points. So I guess that's what makes this particular mission special and maybe a little more complicated than the others. It's okay. So here we go. First thing we do is we draw the Zampolit card. If the primary mission is successful, earn 1 VP less or move loyalty 1 to the left. Okay, I think I get to decide that later. So I'm going to go ahead and just put that down here. So moving loyalty 1 to the left, not a big deal. It would put us to -2 stress for all pilots. But the thing is I have a Zampolit skill on our Zampolit guy. So we have Ardent and we have Celebrated. One of these gives us an extra victory point if he goes on the mission. The other one lets us move loyalty 1 to the right. So we can choose to let loyalty go 1 to the left, and then he makes it go right back to where it was. So I do have to send him on the mission, though, in order for that to be possible. Sorry, I had to clear my throat there. And I have my coffee way too far away. Okay, let's go. Now we're going to draw our target cards. Here's the first one. It's an infantry formation. It's a secondary target. So let's hold on to that, because maybe we can do 2 targets today. This one will let us send 3 pilots. Let's do another one. Another secondary target. This one lets us do 6 pilots. And I think we're going to stop there. You could do 2 secondaries. One of them is your primary. And of course, one is your secondary. This is a nice 3 victory point one. And it requires 13 hits. So we're going to have to send some nice bombers to that. This one is soft and dispersed. If you recall, dispersed is a keyword. That means that you can't do more than 1 hit per bomb. So you're going to have to use a separate bomb for each hit. It does make it harder. The other one is soft, and you can do more than 1 hit. So those are things we need to keep in mind. This one requires 4 hits. This one requires 13. Sorry. We do get to move these. If we do this mission first, we get to move these before we do that one. I'm just checking to see. Nothing really changes substantially. This one does move loyalty. And it does say primary mission. I think the loyalty is just done once per day. I don't think it's done once per mission when you resolve the loyalty, but let me check. It's in the FAQ. Okay, so the FAQ says that the loyalty is applied daily during the daily effect step. And so basically right here in the daily summary phase, when you adjust the loyalty track, then you apply the loyalty effect, even if loyalty did not move. That's the thing it was clarifying. So if you have a day where it doesn't move left or right, you still apply whatever effect it's on. The key thing that was confusing me is, okay, what if you have a primary and a secondary? We're gonna move these tracks twice. Technically, this is supposed to happen after you've done the primary and the secondary. It's just that for convenience, I do this while I'm done with the primary, just so I can put the card away and I'm done with that card. Then we go do the secondary and then we do this again. Normally it's not an issue, but in this case, the loyalty triggering would only be after both the primary and the secondary are resolved. Hope that makes sense. So with that out of the way, what this basically means is even though we're doing 2 missions, we only trigger the loyalty once. So now we gotta decide what we want to do. This one's going to move the loyalty 1 to the right, so we don't have to bring our guy anymore. He could, but since we're doing 9 total pilots, we're going to bring our guy. So I think the real trick is, how am I going to do 4 hits dispersed with only 3 pilots? And remember, we're not going to be doing bandits yet because, well, hold on, we moved the ops marker. The no bandits thing is gone because we covered it up. So we have bandits now. So, okay, we're going to only have 3 pilots for this secondary mission. So I think what we want to do then is we want to bring one of our big heavies along for this one. So Gauntlet would go on that one. And then of course, we just want to get some air-to-air in. And then maybe go after some of the sites if we need to. So I would we'll bring our Zampolit guy on that one. And then we have an air-to-air. We can bring, really we're trying to bring, I already forgot what these different pilots do. Bring one of our Fulcrums. So the last video, I had watched the movie The Goonies, from the 1980s, and I remember really loving that whenever it first came out. It's still pretty good to today. I mean, it's got a little bit of aging to it, but it's still pretty good. But it greatly inspired my last video because the whole time they're trying to find One-Eyed Willie's treasure. And so every time they encounter a challenge, they'd be like, "You almost got us, One-Eyed Willie, but we were smarter." So I really noticed that I started to say, "You almost got us, Mr. Designer, but we figured it out." So anyways, I think... was there a point to that? No, there's never a point to anything Jeff related. It just was making me laugh because I think the style of my video was very different. This particular one, I wanted to make sure Garnet here, who is our Zampolit, he can shoot down radar sites. This is an air-to-air specialist, and this is a bomber, heavy bomber. So between the three, we can cover all the situations. There's going to be a lot of bandits here, and also a lot of sites, because the current ops thing that we're on. So this is not going to be a fun one to do. However, this one is going to move the intel by 1, is going to let us destroy 1 bandit. So if we do this one first, we'll be able to move the markers and then do the other one. Now, great question. I'm starting to realize, because I clarified, the markers technically don't move until the end of the day, don't they? I could have sworn that there was something that said that if you do 2 missions, you resolve 1 completely and then do the other, which sort of makes it contradictory, but I could be wrong. Okay, I can definitely report I was wrong. You're supposed to do the primary first, then the secondary, then do the daily summary. Now, I always do the daily summary immediately, because most of the time it doesn't matter, but in this case, it does matter, because those do not move until the end of the day. So I will not benefit from the -1 bandit from moving the intel marker, because that intel marker is not going to be moved by the time we do the other mission. Theoretically, they're both happening at the same time. It's just we're doing them one at a time, because in the board game sense, you can't do both the same. So it makes total sense. So we'll move forward with that in mind. The other thing that I noticed when I was going through that, and I already forgot, it said you don't have to pick your pilots for the secondary mission, which is fine, but I pick them anyways because I got to make sure I have a right plan. Oh, the ground crew, the GCI crew, can go on both missions. I was not aware of that. So that's a Fulcrum leader thing, because GCI doesn't exist in any of the other leader games, and that might explain why he needs a massive amount of experience points to level up, because if he can go on both missions, he's technically getting 4 experience points a day, theoretically. I mean, we're going to go on 2 missions today. We didn't go on 2 yesterday, but he could walk away with 4 experience points if both are successful. So with that said, we're going to shove this one up to the side here. Move that back up to turn 1. We're going to do this one for the day. And first thing we got to do is determine and place sites. So it says there's 1 site in the approach and then 4 in the center. So we got to do the 4 approaches and then the center. And where's my cup? Here we go. So 1 site for each approach. Here's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then how many in the center? 4 of them. 1, 2, 3, and I'm seeing a lot of no sites, which is good, and 4. So no site here. I'll take that off. This one is a site. Same with that one. And that one, no site. No site, and no site. So we got really, really lucky. Now there is a +1 site for intel adjustment. We don't do that until later. So technically I gotta make my decisions knowing what I see now and go from there. So 0 range. All the sites in this particular mission are 0 range. So unless you're flying over the target and dropping them, these sites are a non-factor. You can just fly high right over them. They're 0 range and they're low. So if I come in this way, I don't even run into a site until I get over the target, and then there's 1. That's a potential issue. So I think I don't have to choose which way I'm coming from yet, but there's a good chance I'm going to come in from this side. I can do up here or down here. So anyways, let's focus on that. Now we have to assign our pilots and GCI crews. So GCI, we only have one. It's Rainitz. He's coming along, and he gives us an air-to-air +1, air-to-ground +1, and ECM +1. So that's pretty awesome. And then we get to choose 6 aircraft. Well, our for free aircraft is we're going to choose our, I don't even know what you call him, but he's coming. He's the monocle, the AWACS plane. And then we'll bring our jammer. So he'll come along. He counts as 1 of the 6. We're going to bring in our heavy bomber. That's 2. We're going to bring in our other Fulcrum. That's 3. We're going to bring in a Spectre, which is pure air-to-air. 4. We're going to bring in another Garnet, which is another bomber, for 5. There's going to be a lot of air-to-air on these ones, so let's see. I got 2 more bombers. I have a fitter, which basically count as bombers for all intents and purposes. I do have to get 13 hits. Okay, so my choices are, I can bring this guy who has a -1 air-to-air. He's a green. I basically got him just for the free SO points. And so I'm leaning away from him, but there's going to be 10 bandits drawn for this mission. So we're going to have a lot of bandits. And right now I have a Fulcrum and the other one of these. So I do have 2 full-time air-to-air guys on the mission. He's not the best, but he is available. Or I have 2 guys that are identical here. This one is, he was selected as a bomber, but you can see he has a +1 air-to-air as well. I mean, mission-wise, he's technically better. But anyways, long story short, I have 2 of these guys. And they're meant to be supplementary bombers. They'll have 7 weight points worth of bombs. We have AWACS, he's free. This is a jammer. I could replace him. We have a full heavy bomber, and we have a regular bomber, and then we have air-to-air, air-to-air. So that's how we're divided up. So we're evenly split, 2 and 2. I do have to get 13 hits between the 2 of these. It's not a dispersed target. So what would I drop? That's a good question because I'm not familiar with the munitions here. Here you can see I can go up to 1,500 kilograms, which is pretty heavy bombs. I can take air-to-air, but I'm not going to worry about that with these guys. I can take all of the KHs, and the mission itself, or the campaign only allows some of these, but trust me, we have them covered. That's it. And then I can also take these KABs, which I think are special. I need to use, I would have to use special weapon points, SO points, to use the KABs. But basically, those are the, they're fixed bombs that are, they're like the iron bombs, but they do better. You'll have to spend special weapon points for them. So, he has his own ECM, so he's going to have a pure 12. We do need to see where the site is. It's site 27, and all of them, this is a 0 stress, 0 weight point penalty mission. So I'm going to be able to drop all 12 weight points worth of goodness on this, and I only need 13 hits. I think I'm okay. Now the bombs themselves, I don't think I have a lot of these punched yet. So we're talking about the iron bombs. So here you can see the KABs. These are the special ones. I would have to pay, for example, 2 SO points to use this, but look, at a 3, 5, 7, I mean, a 3 and a 5 are very reasonable to roll. I'm doing 2 hits. I mean, this is a massively good bomb. No wonder. I mean, that's worth 2 SO points if you really need to get the job done. But the FABs are the normal iron ones. And so this is a single weight one, hits with a 7 or 10. And then if we keep going to the 2 weight point one, that's a 5, 7, or 10. So real good chance that maybe half the time I will get, I'll just say quarter of the time, I'll get 2 hits in instead of 1. And arguably speaking, I'm going to miss half the time, but I'm going to get air to ground bonuses. This heavy bomber I'm bringing along has a +1. Okay, so that's not too much to write home about, but that just made the odds better than 50%. So all I'm trying to say is I think we have a lot of good hits coming. And then, but see, that's a 500. So I'm going to flip this over now. We can bring a 1,500 kilogram. Look at this bad boy. It takes 4 weight points, but look at that. I could do up to 4 hits. So a 9 is not easy to get, especially when you're only getting a +1 to your air to ground. But I technically get a +2 because my CGI is giving me a +1 as well. And I think my AWACS is also giving me a +1. So I have a +3 to my rolls. This is a guaranteed hit. Now, granted, I'm only going to be bringing 3 of these if I do 4 weight points. But I got a guarantee hit from all 3 of them, and then I just need to roll a 1, so I got a guaranteed 2 hits from all 3 of them. So that's 6 hits. Anyways, what I'm saying is I really like these guys. At 4 weight points, those are interesting. Now, in Eagle or Hornet, you only go up to 3, but we're using kilograms here instead of pounds, and I think it sort of all works out. But somewhere in here should be the 3 weight point ones. I'm curious what those look like. I don't see them yet, so bear with me. We have these RBK bombs. Ooh. Okay, so let's look at what can we use or can't we use. Trying not to disrupt the components. So there you can see at the top, we can use FAB 100, 250, 500, 1500. We just looked at the 1500 not too long ago. Then in the special weapons, the KABs, and then there's a B tab, BETAB. I'm not familiar with any of these, so just bear with me. So I'm looking at what looks like a PBK or RBK, RBK 500. Holy cow, those things look amazing, but I don't see an RBK 500 in any of these lists. So they must be amazing for some other reason. Because holy crap, the RBK 500 gets a +4 when you're up against soft targets. And that's amazing to have a +4 against soft targets, especially since this is a soft target we're up against. Then there's an RBK 250, same deal. They look awesome. But no RBKs allowed for this one. Big bummer. You know what, they're a lot like the MK20s from, and I know one of you viewers doesn't like that I say MK. I'm supposed to say Mark 20. You know, get a therapist. I'm going to say MK20s because that's what the title says. Okay, so that's out. So there's a KAB 500, the KR is what this would be. So this is what they look like. Oh, I'm sorry, that's the RBK. There it is, KAB 500 KR 4710. That's not horrible. There's the RBK I was telling you about. Look at that, S+4. They're really nice, but they're not on our list. The Fab 100, yep, those are, the Fab 1500s are looking nice. There's Fab 250s. Oh, the Fab 100 has an S+1. Interesting. See, there's an S+1 there. It's 1 weight point, +1 against soft targets, so that 711 is easier to hit. But then there's a Fab 250, which is larger, but it doesn't get a +1 against soft. Very interesting how that works. The Fab 500 is 5710. Fab 1500. I'm not even seeing the Fab. You know what, this is he said that this was a Campaign 6 expansion, so I'm betting that I gotta look at the expansion. My apologies, Expansion 6. Let me go look there. Okay, so I'm gonna ignore the special weapons for now, although some of them do look really cool. It's just, they're expensive, and we have, what did I do with my sheet? We do have special weapon points available. We have 7, in fact. But like some of these special weapon bombs cost 4, just for 1 bomb. And we're not gonna be able to make a mission out of it. So let's look at what is available to us. So I know it's zoomed in a bit, but I'm gonna show you. We have the FAB 1500. So that's a 4-weight bomb, and you can see it does 3, 4, 6, 9. We have the other side of that is the FAB 250, which there's some, which looks like that. Now this one has FAB 250 on the other side, but this FAB 250 has the 100 on the other side. So that's very confusing. I don't like it, but that's the way it is. They have the FAB 100, 250, 1500, and I think there's also a 500 out there, right here. The FAB 500. And there's also an FAB 250 that looks like this, and this is where it gets really confusing because they're both titled the exact same thing, FAB 250. Right? I'm looking at the, so see that one's a 250 and that's also a 250. They're both exactly the same title, but they're completely different bombs. So I don't understand why they did that. I don't understand Russian munitions, so I mean, if anything, that should have been an FAB 250 soft, or I don't know, just some designator to make it a little different than the other one. The fact that you have 2 of them that are entitled exactly the same makes no sense to me. So either way, though, we're allowed to take the FAB 250. So the 100, the 250, which there's 2 different types, the 500 and the 1500. These are the freebies. Now there's obviously anti-radar bombs, you know, things like that, but we're not focusing on those too much because I think this is just your classic, we got to get over and just bomb the target. So if we have 12 weight points, I can bring 3 of these, which looks like they would be effective. At a +3 to all my die rolls, that means I'm rolling a 4 at minimum, even if I roll a 1. So that's going to be 6 guaranteed hits, which is not enough to destroy the target, especially if I'm relying on this one single bomber. But the chances are I'm going to do more than 6, because all I have to do is roll a 3 or better and I got another hit in. But the point, though, is that I got to get 13 hits on this guy, and even at 3 hits each, I'm only going to get 9 hits in. So that's a potential problem, which would indicate I need another bomber. I mean, I do have the Garnet that can bring some bombs as well. The garnet's only going to bring 7 weight points worth. But here's another interesting one. This one, because it's a soft target, we're going to get a +2 to all of our die rolls. It's only 2 weight points, so it means I can carry double the bombs. If I'm getting a guaranteed +3, and then this is giving me another +2, then I'm up to +5. That means that I'm guaranteed 1 hit again. So I'll have 6 of them, and I'm guaranteed 6 hits. Both of these guarantee 6 hits. This one, though, because there's more of them, if I roll at least a 3, I'm going to get 1 more hit, which is potentially 6 more hits. Whereas over here, there's only 3 of them, so I won't get as many extra hits. You see where the math is shaken out on this? Now this one is same logic, except it's only 1 weight point, so now I'm carrying 12 of them. The problem is I need an 8 to hit, so the chances of hitting are a lot lower. Then this one is just crap. Like, why would I ever take this one over that one? I guess because the 7 is better than the 8 if it's not a soft target. That's the only thing that you can see there. And then this FAB 100, that's an interesting one as well. You get an S +1, and you only need to hit a 7, whereas this one you need to hit an 8. And if you do the math, they're both exactly the same. A +1 versus a +2, 7 versus an 8, right? If you're getting a +2, the dice rolls are exactly the same between the two. Although this one has a D on it, so this can handle dispersed targets. I'm just now noticing that. So this one's good against dispersed targets, which is the other target we're going up against. Anyways, that's what we have to choose from. Okay, so I think this makes it clear. I'm going to bring another bomber. So we'll have 2 anti-air, 3 bombers. I mean, technically, one of them can help us with anti-air. These are the weapons we can use every mission. So I want to put them there, but I actually put my paper down, so maybe we can move these more to the right. So we'll put them over here. So they're our reference point. When you're new to these games and you don't understand the munitions, do stuff like this. It helps with your sanity, because these are the ones that are allowed for this campaign, even though there's other munitions out there. And now those are the iron bomb ones. We also have, for example, this guy. So this is the equivalent of the AGM-88s from Hornet Leader, except there's no radar weapons in this entire campaign. So as much as we can use these, they're really not that useful for this campaign. Maybe for some other campaign they will be, but not this one. There's other ones like this, which is anti-vehicle. Those are pretty nice as well, but we're not up against vehicles, so these bombs are not ideal for this type of mission. So we don't want to use these at all, to be quite honest and fair here. So with that said, I'm just sorting out a few more here. Okay, I could do this all day. Let's stop. All right, so we got our pilots lined up that we're going to use for this mission. And I like to designate on the board how they're doing, et cetera, et cetera. So we need to not only put them on here, but we need to arm them as well. So, okay, first thing I want to do is let's check, make sure, does anybody have special action points? And we have one for the Fulcrum guy, which is Onyx. So he has 1. And he's an average pilot, because we also have to determine who the flight leader is. We don't have the Zampolet with us. But let's keep going. We have 1 for the Gauntlet, who's a skilled pilot. And chances are he's going to be the flight leader. He's the highest promoted pilot. that's with us. Monocle has 3. You can give them to anybody, and I think that covers it. Now, I did choose to bring Ringmail. I could have brought Lance. He would have had 1 instead of Ringmail. That's actually an interesting dilemma, but I guess we'll let Lance sit out on this one. But yes, I could have brought another one. Okay, so with that out of the way, we got all those done. So now let's talk about their role and what they're going to do. So several ways I like to do this. The one is to say, hey, these are the anti-air guys. So anything you see over here is their anti-air numbers. Another way to do it is to put anti-air on the right and then bombing on the left. It's just that it takes up a lot more space and it interferes, because if we're flying and doing things, that could get in the way. But we'll go ahead and just do anti-air on the left. For these two, this guy could be anti-air and anti-ground. That's the reason why I picked him. So let's sort all this out. So this guy just gives bonuses. So there's no actual combat features to him. Same with this one, no actual combat features. So we'll skip those two. But they are providing +1 of this or +1 of that, right? So we're going to get to Gauntlet here. He's got the 12 weight points. And with his 12 weight points, he gets a +1 from his skill. Right here you can see +1 from the skill, right? And then he's getting +1 from the ground crew, right there. And the monocle is giving him +1. So he's getting he's getting a +3 overall. So if we give him a 3 to show that he's got a +3 air to ground. Now Garnet is a +2 air to ground for all the same reasons, except he doesn't have his own +1. And then Ringmail is also +3. Okay, so you can see I'm just going along. Now these guys are anti-air, and the bonuses are the same from the ground and from monocle. But then we look at Onyx 101 has a +1. So with the other bonuses, he gets a +3. And then Spectre is a +2. Okay, so these are anti-air, these are anti-ground. Air to ground, air to air. I meant not anti, but okay. And then these are special actions, and those don't have special actions. So then what are they carrying? So let's start with Onyx. Onyx is, or Spectre. Spectre's real easy. He's carrying 4 R60s, which I normally represent differently, but he's always guaranteed 4 R60s, so there you go. We'll just pile them up. I just keep those on his card because that's all he can equip. The Spectre is the Fulcrum leader. He's more complicated, and this is where we get into our munitions again. So all those R's you can see that we had R60. We could do 73, 24, or 27. Those are the 3 other types we can do. Now the Fulcrum card can do 73, 60, and 27. So the 24 is out. Even though the 24 is allowed for the campaign, he can't carry them. But he could do 27, 60, 73. So what are those? Well, we have them right here over to the left. We have the R60 with the R24. 24 is out. So we do the R60 here, which is what the other guy has. It's a 1-range weapon. It's pretty standard. The 73 is just pound for pound better. It's a 1-range weapon, but it hits with a 5 instead of a 6. So the 73 is clearly better. But then the 27 is better than that. Now, it takes a 7 to hit, which is a little harder, but it has a range of 3. So we have some nice choices here. We could choose this one, or this one for this particular pilot. The R60 is just pound for pound not as good. Now, Onyx there could only use the R60, so that's the reason why he took those. But the Fulcrum can clearly use the R73, which is just straight up better. So what do we do? How do we disseminate this? Well, it gets to weight points. So the Spectre has 6 overall weight points. One of them is using an ECM pod. Because remember, everybody has ECM pods. We're not doing any mission without ECM pods. That is just complete suicide in this game. So, so with that being said, we gotta, sorry, I'm having trouble chewing gum and talking at the same time. I was just punching some more tokens here. ECM pod, taken 1. So now he's down to 5 weight points. We're gonna do 2 73s for 1 range, and we're gonna do 3 of these. Now, I said that there was another way I like to represent these. Another way to do it is I just put one of those tokens there and then put a 3 next to it to show that I have 3 of these. That's another way to do it. We'll put them all, we'll pile them up. See, but you see why I don't like piling them up, because it gets a little wonky. All right, so I'm a little nervous with my anti-air capabilities. But now let's start with our big guy here. He takes 12 weight points worth of bombs. We talked quite extensively about what the options are. The debate is, this one's a really nice one. And I always say use something like this if you get big bonuses to your pilots. Right now we're at a +3 bonus, which means that we're guaranteed to roll 4. So we're going to guarantee you get 2 hits out of this. And it doesn't take much to get to a 6, so you could even assume you're going to get 3 hits, but there's only going to be 3 of these. So even at 3 hits, that's only 9 hits. I need 13. So it's not quite going to get us there. So I'm looking at this one. I get a +2, but I need a 6 to hit, yes, but I'm getting a +2. So I have a 3, and I add 2 more for a 5. I'm guaranteed a 6, and I'm going to have 6 of these on my plane. You see what I mean? So I'm starting to think this is the one I want, right? So we're going to take the FAB 500, and we're going to take 6 of them. So let me zoom out a little bit. So I'm going to grab one of these FAB 500s. There's 2 different types of FAB 500s. Because look at this one. There's no S+2 on this guy. So where did I find a FAB 500? Well, look at that. There's 2 different types of FAB 500s. That's a little annoying. But here we go. We want this one here with the S+2. And I want 6 of those. So we could represent that. Either put it on top, which is sort of hard, or next to it. So now the question becomes, do I have 6 of these? So here's 1, 2, 3, 4. That one's 5. There's 6 over there. We do have 6 of them. Do I have more than 6? I don't know. Because now I'm getting nervous because they're all different. There's 1, 2, 3 of the nice ones. Okay, now if this is adding +2, my 3 turns into a 5. Now this is only against soft targets, of course, but everything is a soft target in this mission. So now I'm getting a +5 to my die rolls. So that's why I would change that. Okay, so now we got the garnet here. The garnet has a weight point of 8, but one of them is needed for an ECM pod, so he's got 7. So you could argue, hey, take some more FAB 500s. It's not a horrible idea. Or I can take these FAB 250s, and I can take 7 of them. He still gets a +2 to his roll, so that would become a +4. That could also work. The problem is that these FAB 250s with the +2 on them, they're the same ones as the 500s with the +2 on them. So if I just use 6 of them here, I may not have enough, is where I'm going. And I'm gonna go ahead and go back to my punched pieces here. I have these FAB 250s and 500s, which do not have the bonuses on them. And that is because expansion 6 is the one that has them. You can see that here. So there's the FAB 500 with the +2. And then if you flip it over, the other side is the 250 with the +2. So how many do I have? Well, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 across. And here you can see I have 6 more. So I have 14 more that I just haven't punched. And so with the extra 14, I have more than enough. Because I have 6 here. And I'm not gonna, even if I took 7 there at the size 1, that's 13, right? But I still have another bomber. But I think I actually like these 2-weight ones. So we're gonna give him the same treatment. The problem is he can only carry 3 of them for 6 weight points. And then that gives him not a +2, but a +4. And then it becomes, okay, Mr. Garnet, he can take an R60, so we can actually give him an air-to-air. It's Garnet 446. His air-to-air is +0. Or we can give him a 1-weight bomb, like this one. Or actually like this one. Remember we said they're basically the same thing? Sure, let's move these out of the way. We'll give him one 1-weight bomb. Then we got Ringmill 441. He has a +1 air-to-air. He has 8 weight points. One of them is used, as we said. So we give him three of these. So that's 6, 7, and then we're going to give him an R60. Now, with this being added, his +3 becomes +5. So that's the nomenclature. I know it may seem confusing to some of you, but I've done this hundreds of times, and getting out the cards and updating them, I mean, it adds extra hours to your game. I'm actually extra hours explaining it, but it's really, there's not much to explain. It's just, this is their air-to-ground bonus to their dice. This is how many I have of these, and then this is just extra stuff on top of it. Okay, and then, yeah, and then we got our air-to-air guys there, and they're already equipped. We're ready to go. So we're going to come in, we could come in high. I don't have to decide yet. We're going to draw the target-bound event card. Let's go. Inflict up to 3 hits on the target. The target cannot be destroyed and must have at least 1 hit remaining. So that is awesome. If there was any concern about destroying this target, that has been alleviated quite a bit. So the target just has 3 hits on it. I like that event. I don't think I've ever seen one like that before. Place aircraft, choose altitude. So by being high altitude, they are allowed to be shot at by anything that's on the ground, but nothing has more than range 0, so it's no big deal. We're coming in high. Determine and place bandits. So the bandits are 2 around and then 2 in the center. That's a lot of bandits we're going to draw, and most of the no bandits have already been used. So that's another concern. But here we go. So 2 here. Oh, I see a no bandit. 2. There's not that many to choose from. 2. Here's 2. 2 and 2 in the middle. All right, so let's take a look. So this one is a Mirage 4 or 5. That's actually a pretty deadly one, but he's easy to shoot down. No bandit. Mirage 3. Same deal. They're a little deadly, but they're easy to shoot down. This is an F-16, very deadly. Yeah, he's definitely a threat. This is a Draken and a no bandit. We have a Mirage 5, another Mirage 5, a Draken, and an F-16. Okay, so the big thing to understand is all of these bandits have only a range of 1. So nothing can hit us right now. So that's good. Now, it does say Intel Air Defense Adjustment, which means we're drawing 1 more bandit, or 1 more site. And why am I drawing 1 more site? So here it's Intel Adjustment, but right here, there's +1 site because of this. And I'm assuming we add that now as part of the Intel adjustment, even though it's not labeled under the Intel section. And so we got a man pit, which is another range 0 ground unit there. Okay, so moving on. We use extended range weapons. If the weapon air-to-air had a range of 5 or more, those are considered extended range. We don't have any of those in this campaign, so this is going to be a nothing burger. We put the counter in turn 1, and somewhere in here I forgot to draw the target over defense card, so let's do that. All enemy sites and bandits suffer -2 on their attack rolls. That could not be any better. That's awesome. That's like an ECM jamming on them. And so now we start. Fight. Let's go. Turn 1. Now remember, we're here. This represents all these planes you see here just in 1 token. So I got us flying right there high. This is 2 range away. This is all 2 range away. These guys all have just a range of 1. So fast pilots attack first. I have no fast pilots. There's no attacks necessary. Then they get to attack. I'm out of their range, so none of them can hit me. So we skip that. So now slow pilots attack. I have only 1 pilot that can hit anything in this game right now, and it's Spectre here. He has this range 3 R-27. And so the F-16s are the largest threat, but they're not the easiest to take out. And I need a 7 to hit with these. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go after the easier target here, because this gives me a +2 to my die roll. So we're going to go ahead and go after that one. Now the Spectre gets a +2 to his roll, and that's it. Just a +2. But see, this gives a +2 more, so I get a +4. So I rolled a 7. +4 would be 11. I would have destroyed the F-16, but instead I went for the easier target, so we got this guy. So we're good to go. All right, so he's destroyed. This weapon is used up and gone. And we at least did our job. So that's the end of turn 1. So now we're going to fly in towards our target. And then the bandits, the enemy bandits, move towards us. So these 2 are now in range to hit us. And so is this one, and so is this one. And then these two are also in range. So we now have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bandits. This one is not in range, but he's one closer. Now, this is why I was worried about only having 2 anti-air guys. I'm only going to be able to shoot 2 of these down. Then we're going to have to defend against the rest. And that's a problem. But let's see what we can do here. And yeah, that's just the nature of the beast. The ground sights still are not a threat for this round. Okay, so now we start with fast pilots attack. I have no fast pilots yet, but this is where the situational awareness can come in. Onyx here has one of his own, so he's going to spend it. That means he's going to shoot during the fast phase and again during the slow phase. That's what the situational awareness, it's an extra attack. It's not a replacement. So if he was a fast pilot, he would be able to use this to attack extra during the slow phase. But he's a slow pilot, he's using it to attack extra during the fast phase. And then this guy here, Monocle, can spend one of his points and he's going to give it to Spectre here. So both of our anti-air guys are going to shoot. Okay? Now, we also have Monocle's going to use another one, and we're going to have Ringmail shoot his one and only R60. Because remember, we had him bring along an extra weapon. As long as the fight is not at range 0, the amount of bombs you have equipped do not affect your air-to-air roll. If he was trying to use that R60 at range 0, that would have been a problem. Okay, so with that said, we should probably have Ringmail go first, this guy here. Now, he needs to hit with a 6 because he's using an R60. And I need to calculate his air-to-air because we have stuff written down here, but those are air-to-ground. So Ringmail 441 gets a +1, +2. He gets a +3 to his roll. And we have a lot of targets to choose from. The F-16s are the deadliest, and there's 2 of them there. But they give you a +0 to hit. So at a +3, I would have to roll a 3 or better to hit those F-16s. Or I can go after one of these +2s, and I'm guaranteed to get them. That's my dilemma. So if we're looking at these here, these top 2 are F-16s, +0 to hit. So they're going to be the hardest to hit. This is a +1. And then these 3 are all +2. So there's 2 ways to look at it. I currently am, with this missile here, I said I was getting a +3 to my roll. With this +2, that makes it a +5. This hits on a 6. I don't have to roll at all, and I'm going to kill one of these. And which do I prefer? Do I want to eliminate 3 of them, which reduces the amount of times I'm getting shot at back? And the answer is yes. I mean, ideally, I want to kill these 2 first. And I still want to eliminate 3 of them. That's my problem. But I still, by shooting these guys first, these guys still get to shoot at us. They have slightly worse numbers for hitting us, which is why I'm saying that leaving them alive is a little more ideal. But at the end of the day, you want to guarantee your hits. And there's nothing more guaranteed than this. But let's say I was going after an F-16 with this guy. I am currently at a +3. I need a 6. I just need to roll a 3 out of 10. So basically I have a 20% chance to miss. I like those odds. So I'm going to roll for the F-16. Now I could choose the Draken in the middle. That sort of like makes it even better because I get a +1. I'm going to shoot the F-16 though. So I need a 3 or better. And there it is. So 3 + 3 is 6, and the F-16 is destroyed. Which, that is a pretty tough F-16. So, okay, so that's done. This did its job. we got 2 more to go. This guy also gets a +3 to his die roll. He's shooting an R60. Also, we're going to go after the other F-16. And I rolled a 10. So that one would have hit anybody. So both F-16s down. That's good. So now we got this guy who only gets a +2, but we're going to shoot. We could shoot an R-73 because we're at range 1. Or we could shoot another R-27. This is an interesting dilemma. I'm going to do the R-73 because it hits at a lower number. So it only needs a 5. He has a +2 to his roll. This guy here is a +1 to make it +3. So I just needed a 2 or better. So the Draken is down. So we did our job. We destroyed 3, and we destroyed the worst 3 for us. So I am going to have to now endure 3 attacks from them. And basically, the way it works is we have to choose who they're shooting at. That's done randomly. Then we have to choose whether we want to evade. And then, but before then, we can use our ECM jamming. I remember I told you everybody has an ECM. So, and then we also have an ECM pilot with us who has Fazol, which means beans. I remember that. I don't think that's used in this campaign because that would reduce any radar sites, which there are none. There's Bouquet, which is bouquet. I can't remember what that does. And then there's Serena, which I think is the one that we want. But I do have an earmark in my rulebook, page 61, because I knew I was not going to remember what these do. Bouquet, all radar sites have their range reduced by 1. That is not usable. The Fazol is all hawk sites have their range reduced to 0, which is also not usable. And so Serena, subtract 1 from all enemy die rolls that are targeting any aircraft in the support area. So it's basically a -1. So we could do that, and it's going to work for all 3 of these attacks, because it's basically for this turn that would go into effect. So if I do Serena, I'm just taking 1 stress with my pilot, and I will do that. So we're going to go ahead and give him 1 stress. So now we have a -1 to any attack rolls. But with that said, we have ECM jamming. Everybody has an ECM jammer. So what we're going to do is we're going to roll 3 dice. And I like to do red, green, blue, right? Because that's a video monitor CRT thing, RGB. And we go top to bottom, RGB. It's just easy for me to remember. So we have red, green, blue dice. All of our ECMs are 6. So if I roll a 6 or better, then they don't get to attack us at all. We ECM jammed them. So the red is jammed, but the green and blue was not. So green and blue is actually going to attack us. That's the bottom 2 guys, these 2. And so now we're going to roll, again, the green and blue. We're going to roll to see who they're attacking. So I rolled a 9 and a 7, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 planes. So the 7 is going after Monocle, and I got to re-roll this one. And then the 3 is going after Ringmail. So see how that works? So now we know who the green's attacking and who the blue is attacking. So we're going to start with the green. They're both actually the same. But if they roll between a 3 and a 7, so basically a 3 through a 6, they're going to cause us to take a stress. If they roll a 7 or 8, they're going to damage us, and we're going to lose all of our weapons, all munitions. And if they roll a 9 or better, we're destroyed. Now, there's a couple of things factoring in on this. The first thing is they get a -2 on all their rolls. So we know they're not destroying us. They can't roll a 9. They have no bonuses. So that's the first thing. They're not rolling a 9. So with a -2, the best you can hope is they're going to roll an 8. Because they're going to roll a 10 here, right? and it's going to get reduced to an 8. And that would be a damage outcome. However, we're not done. We now have our ground crew is giving us an ECM bonus of +1 here at the bottom. So actually, I think what that means is we get a +1 when we roll our ECM jamming. I think. Let me look that up. Okay, the ECM bonus from the GCI is to the ECM pod roll. These two rolled poorly, so they were both 3s. So that didn't work. But we did take the stress to reduce them by 1. So they're being reduced by 3 now. So the best they can roll is a 7. And even at a 7 though, they're going to damage. So they have to roll a perfect 10 to get that result. But that's the situation. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take a stress for each of these 2 pilots are each going to take 1 stress. And what they're going to do is they're going to initiate what's called an evade. So this one is the ring mail and the monocle. So by doing an evade, what that means is I'm going to roll 2 dice and they take the worst of the 2. So unless I roll 2 10s, I'm going to be fine. So we're going to go ahead and roll for this one first. I did roll a 10, which would have been nasty, but this one's the one we use. We use the 6, which gets reduced by 3. So I take another stress. So ring mail has 2 stress. And then we're going to go ahead and we really rolled poorly here, but 7 is reduced to a 4, so that's another stress for monocle. And there you go. So basically the outcome of the attack was an extra stress, and they took a stress to evade, but we survived the attack. So now we're at the end of the, now we're at the slow phase. So all the pilots get to attack during the slow phase because all our pilots are slow. And remember, the special situational awareness gave them an extra attack. So that means we get to attack again. The problem is Ringmail has no more air-to-air missiles, so he does not get to attack again. But these 2 do. And so we have 3 bandits left. So I'm going to go ahead and we're going to try to use the R27 against one of these +2s. So that's a 5. I needed a 7. This gives a +2, so just that alone gives us a 7. But he also had a +2 over there. But anyways, it's more than enough to destroy it. And that uses up one of the R27s. And then the other one only has R60s. Remember, we need a 6 for him. And we got an 8. I didn't specify who we're going to destroy, so it doesn't matter. They're all +2. So we take the top one. And there you go. We shot down everybody we possibly could. So you couldn't ask for it to be any better. There's still 1 bandit remaining. We now move to turn 3. I forgot to specify that here. So we're on turn 3. I am not going to move. We're going to stay where we are. This bandit is not going to move because he's in range to hit us. This one's going to move 1 closer. And what we're doing is we're staying out of range of these. I also don't want to get into range 0 because then we have to do dogfighting with them, and I only have 1. Well, technically we can do range 0 with both of these. Sure, let's go ahead and move in. So that means this other guy would not have moved in at all. So this one, I'm sorry, it's like this. So this one's at range 0, which means I cannot use this one. It has a 0. The 0 is red, meaning I can't shoot at range 0. I had to pause. I have a person who's renting a room here at my house. He's essentially a housemate. He's from California, and we had our first snow for the season here, and it's, I don't know, it's maybe 20 degrees outside, and trying to scrape his windshield, and he has no gloves, no hat, no coat, because he's from like Los Angeles. and he's out there freezing. So I had to go help him and give him some spare stuff that we have here. It was more comical than anything, but the poor guy he's experiencing what real winter looks like. Anyways, back to this. So yeah, we are on turn 3. I moved in. I didn't have to. What I was originally considering is staying back so I can keep them at like an arm's length so we can shoot them down. But I moved in because I still have a range. This is range 0 or 1, and so is this. So we can still shoot him. These are pure anti-air guys. There's no penalties. So going into range 0 is not going to hurt us. This one is still range 1, and he would have moved in, but when we move towards him, as long as they're in range, they don't move any closer. So that's just the way the rules work. All right, and so now we're starting turn 3. Remember, fast pilots attack. I only have 1 SA left here, which I am going to give to one of these, probably this guy. So he's going to shoot fast, and then I got to decide, am I going to give one of these? This one belongs to my flight leader, so he can give it to other people. But I want to maybe keep it for the bombing run, because we are going to go over 2 targets that are going to shoot at us. And I want to be able to drop my bombs before they shoot at us. So that's why I'm thinking I'm not going to use this up. So we're just going to use 1. I'm going to let this guy shoot, and he's going to shoot the range 0. And here we go. So we rolled a 2. This is +2 more for 4. He needs a 6, and he gets a +3. So we were able to do it. So this is destroyed. Now they get to go, and so this one is going to attack us. So now we're going to roll for ECM jamming, and we rolled a 6. So that means we jammed him. We would have jammed him with a 5 because we have our ground control intercept guy. So now we go to the slow phase, and so we're going to go again. I'm going to have this guy go with his R73. We rolled a 2. This adds a +1 for 3. And then this adds 2 more for 5, and this only needed a 5. So the R73, we barely did it, but all the bandits are gone. So skies are clear. So now we go to the slow phase, and well, technically that was the slow phase that we just did. This guy has nobody to attack, and these are all just idling by. And so now we're going to go here, and we're going to fly low, because we need to be low to drop our bombs. They all require low. See that green L? All right, so we're gonna drop bombs, and this is why I wanted to save that SA point, because we still do fast them and then slow. So we're gonna go fast, and I'm gonna drop all these bombs now. So I have 6 of these bombs right here. So I'm gonna remove this out of the way. We have 6 of this guy. 6, 8, and 10. S is +2. So we already factored all that S +2 in. So he gets a 5 to his die roll. And I'm just going to put this over the target for now. So 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to roll 6 dice. And I got to move this up. So there you go. We have, and I'm going to put this down here. And just a reminder, I need a 6, 8, or 10 to do hits, and I get to count more than 1 hit. So we're adding a +5 to all of our dice. So how many got to the magical 10 number? We have 1, 2, 3, and 4. Remember, there's 6 of these, so this is each representing 1. So each of these just did 3 hits. 3, 6, 9, 12. And we already have 3 on the target. We've already destroyed the target with that alone. This would have gotten us to an 8, so this would have been 2 hits. And this would have gotten us to a 7 for 1 hit. So we did 3, 6, 9, 12, 14, 15 hits. I didn't even need the other 2 bombers. So, but the thing is you don't always roll well. That's the thing. So it looks like it was overkill, and it turned out to be, but it's just, so anyways, he's the only one that needed to drop bombs. That's the important part of this lesson. And the target is destroyed. So now we just got to survive this turn and we win. So we dropped our bombs and now we got these two guys shooting at us. And it's the same deal. We can ECM jam them. And so I'm going to just roll 2 dice, red and green, right? Red RGB, right? And so let's do that. I rolled an 8 and a 7. We jammed both of them. So neither of them hit us, and we're well on our way. We go to the slow phase. I'm not going to drop any of these bombs. I don't need to. And now we're going to draw the homebound event. We are hightailing it out of there. You may spend 2 special option points to gain a victory point. I'm going to do that. So I'm going to get out the thing. We started with 7. I'm spending 2. So we ended up with 5. And we're going to get an extra victory point out of the deal. All right, so let me get all of these off the board. All right, let's get this out of the way. We get ourselves a winter chicken dinner. Okay, so the first target of the day, when we do 2 targets, I do a 27 with a slash up at the top there, because we're going to do 2 different targets. For this particular one, we spent 2 SO points, and I already updated it, which I maybe shouldn't have, because we could possibly draw more SO point stuff in the other target. So that may have been dumb of me. But the first target is destroyed, and then I put a slash. And the victory points for this one is 3. And then because we spent the SO points, it becomes 4. So I'm going to do a 4 with a slash, because we don't know what the victory points for the other one is yet. I mean, we do, but we have to win first. And then we go through all of our pilots, and this is a 0 stress mission. So very easy to do here. We start with Spectre 601, which only needs 2 experience points to level up. And I'm going to bring him out. We only need 2 to level up, and we gain 2 from this mission. So Spectre 601 right here, he is going to become green. So here we go. His newbie flips over to green. I really like this pilot, by the way. Even at newbie, he's a +0. And look at that. At green, he's already a +1. This is a really good one to get. And he gives you SO points. So anyways, he leveled up. Next one is Onyx 101. Where are you at, Onyx? All the way up here in a corner. Don't put baby in a corner. So Onyx 101 needs 4. And so we got an issue where there's not enough rows for all the pilots and the GCI. The GCI is in the top row, and I tried to put this pilot in with him. We're going to use these little bubbles for this particular pilot. So he's going to just get 2 experience points. So we're going to fill the 2 bubbles. That's him. I don't know a better way to do it, unless I try to just write somewhere else. Like we could write along the top here. Onyx. He's at 2. All right, so he's halfway there. Bon Jovi. Next up, oh, that was Onyx. Next up is Ringmail 441. That's this guy. So you can see Ringmail has 2 already. You're gonna have 2 more for 4. That's not enough to level up. And then we have Garnet 446. That's this guy. And he needs 5. He just got 2. And I need to pause again. Okay, I'm back. There's a lot going on. All right, I am going to now do Gauntlet 622. These guys are like the MVPs of the game right here. So he already has 2 experience points. He's up to 4 now. Not enough to level up. Next up is Topaz 702. Now this guy has 1 stress from his evade. And he has +1 cool and then 1 other cool here, so he loses 2 stress. So the stress goes away. And Topaz should have 2 out of the 5 needed. And there he is for 2. And then we have Monocle, same deal. Well, not exactly the same deal. He has no cool, but we gave him the Indomitable, so he does go down to 1 stress. He gets 2 more experience points. So Monocle 902 is up to 4. And then this is our Raynets, the ground target one. And he needs 18, but we have, you can see here, 11. So he's up to 13. And I'm gonna have to do the slash because he's participating in both missions. So he got 13 from the first mission. And he needs to get to 18 for his promotion. So now it also moves the bars, the loyalty, intel, and infra by 1, but we don't technically do that until the end of both missions. So I'm gonna move this now so I don't forget, but that -1 bandit doesn't apply to our secondary for today. And then the loyalty is already all the way to the right. There is this one that said that if we primary mission is successful, we can earn 1 less VP or move loyalty to the left. So I would have chosen to move it to the left, but by destroying the target, it moved it to the right anyways. So it canceled itself out. So this is taken care of. And then we move on to the secondary target. And we have to draw bandits before I lock in my pilots. But these are the 3 I had originally chosen for this. And I'm sorry, I meant to say sites. So it's 1 all around and 1 in the middle. So 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then 1 in the middle. This one I see a no sight, no sight, no sight. 1 of those, and 1 of those. So here you can see we have a range 0, right? I'm gonna just move those up. So that means we want to come in from like this side. We're not gonna mess with those range 0 guys. We could fly over them, no problem, but I'm gonna go ahead and just come in on the right. And we don't know where the bandits are yet. So, okay, so we do that. The Zampolit card. Do I draw 1 for primary and secondary? I don't think I do. Let me check. So, daily operations. Yeah, so you draw the Zamplet card before you draw the targets. So yeah, that was That was all, because we drew our targets and we selected our primary. Yeah, never mind. This, I don't know why I confused myself so much. We're on the pre-flight plays, so we assigned our pilots and CGI crews. So CGI is going to be here. We have these 3 pilots selected. Then we're going to draw the target bound event card. Add +1 attack and suppression rolls to all pilots for this mission. If the target is not destroyed, move loyalty 2 spaces to the left. So I'm just going to put that up there to show it's active. We're getting +1 to all of our attack rolls, which is fantastic. Let's hope that we destroy this from Mother Russia. Then we assign a pilot's arm aircraft. Okay, so we have 3 aircraft on this one. One that I chose solely for air-to-air, one solely for air-to-ground, and then the other a mix. So our air-to-air guy is Garnet 441. He is a... Air-to-air one is Bolt 1301. That's our Fulcrum. And he has a +1 air-to-air. Now we don't have our AWACS with us this time, but we still have the Raynets. So we get an air-to-air bonus of +1. So his bonus is +2. Let's get all these out of the way. So his bonus is +2. And I'm just repeating it because I need to do it for my own benefit. So with the +2 bonus, what is he going to equip? Well, we can do the same thing as before. We have the R27s. He has to do an ECM pod. So he has 5 weight points. So we could do R27s and then 3 R73s, like so. So he's doing 2 and 3. For 5. So then we have the Garnet. This is our Zampolit. He's actually participating in the mission. If we succeed, we get an extra victory point. Also get to move loyalty 1 to the right, although loyalty is as far right as it goes. I'm not sure that was a good skill point to invest in. I spent 3 SO points for that skill. I think I would have liked something else instead, like the one that gave me 9. But anyways, I guess if you're really struggling with loyalty being pushed to the left, this is a nice quick way to get it back to the right. It's just that we're on the right and we're staying right, so now it just seems less useful. Okay, so Garnet has 8 weight points. This target, by the way, is target number 3. I did show this last time, but we did target 27 last time, and target 3 is here. So this whole band is 0 stress, 0 weight point. So they're all circles, so they don't get extra stress either. So it's all pretty straightforward and simple. Okay, so with that said, like I was saying, 8 weight points, 1's for the ECM jammer. So we're down to 7. This is a dispersed target. And we discovered that there's these nice little bombs. This guy here, see, that has a D on it, which means that it handles dispersed targets. So that means that if we roll an 11, we actually do 2 hits. It gets a +1 against soft targets, which this is also a soft target. It's not the best in the world. I mean, the only thing that's nice about it is we could possibly do 2 hits with the bomb. But you do have to still roll a 10, because the soft +1 gets you your 11, right? The Garnet gets a +0 air to ground. So I really would have to roll a 10 to be able to do 2 hits with that bomb. So while it does have the dispersed trait on it, it's not that good. So, I mean, you could argue that it can be handy, especially if you had somebody with a really high air-to-ground bonus. I just don't see that here. I mean, I can bring one of them along because I do have to bring a 1 weight point bomb, and then I'm going to bring 6 weight points of something else. And I'm leaning towards the exact same thing we just did before, this guy. So that gives me a +2 against soft targets. Now, since it's dispersed, I can only hit it once, which is fine. But see, I get a +0 and then a +1 for, and then if I get a +2 from this, I'm getting a +3 to my die roll. So, 2, 4, 6, right? I'm doing 3 of these. And then we're good to go. But here's the big guy right here. Gauntlet 624. He has a +2 air to ground, +3. He actually has a +5 to his air to ground. And if I bring these guys, I'm bringing 6 of them. Now you might be wondering, well, what about your ECM pod? Well, they have ECM pods built in, so they don't cost anything. So I got 6 of those bad boys. And if I'm getting a +5 to my thing, I'm rolling a 6 no matter what. It's dispersed, so the extra hits don't matter. This is 6 hits right here. That's an automatic destroy of the target. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't even need this guy. And in fact, let's change his munitions. We're going to get rid of that, and we're going to give him an R60 to help out with the air-to-air problem. And I'll get rid of 1 more of these and get 2 more R60s. So we're up to 3. All right, so there we go. So we're done. Now we do target bound event card. Well, hold on, we already did that. Place aircraft, choose altitude. Determine and place bandits. Okay, we got to do that now. So here we go. There's 1 on each side. So 1, 1, 1, and 1, and then 1 in the middle. This is a nothing. This is a Draken. This one is a Draken F-16 and a Mirage. Okay, and then +1 sight for the CIA adjustment. And we got a man pad with thingamajig. When it says +1 sight, I don't know if it's not always in the middle. I think Fulcrum changed the rules on that. Give me a second. Okay, I was correct. So what we have to do is we drew this, but we have to roll a die. See, I rolled a 7. And I don't think it's on the... I don't know if the designer's listening or not, but we have like this player help sheet, and this information needed to be on the player help sheet. Now, he did have something on here that actually is very helpful. We were talking about what does the ODAB mean and all that stuff. He actually says all of these are considered unguided 500. So that's helpful. But the thing is this part here that we're trying to do is not on here. And it should be. And so what you have to do is you have to earmark page 44 of the rule book. And in page 444, it shows that you have this little table here, and whatever you roll, that's where it ends up. So I rolled a 7, for example. So it's going to show up in the north approach area, not in the center. So this guy isn't automatically here. He's actually up here, which actually helps us. So it's an important table. Important tables should be on player guide sheets. They shouldn't be buried. Another thing that should be on the player guide sheet is the definition of what a bouquet, serena, and fazole is. I shouldn't have to keep looking for those. And I know, one of the guys says, well, all you do is bitch. I guess that's bitching. This is just common sense feedback. That's all I'm trying to do is it makes, if you're going to have a player guide that's handy to the player, those are the things I need to know. I don't need to know some of this other stuff. I mean, I don't know what I would take out. It's just that should be on. Anyways, getting back to this. I think we got everything where we need it to be. So now we do the over target. Destroy any one site of your choice. Draw 3 bandits for the center area. That's not good, because none of the sites bothered us at all. So sure, I can destroy a site like this one, but now we're drawing 3 bandits, which is bad. So 1, 2, 3, and we got a mirage. Oop, that's good. And that's good. So only 1 new. There's a lot of no site, no bandits. And then another thing that I noticed in the rules when I paused recently is when I'm drawing, so see, this is everything I've drawn so far. So if I draw a no site for this one, the rules say I'm supposed to put that back in the cup before I draw for the next one. And then if I draw a no site again, which could be the exact same one, I put it back in the cup before I draw for the next one. That's what the rules are saying. I'm actually making it harder on myself, because every time I draw a no site, I'm drawing everything. And all the no sites I'm keeping out of the cup until later. So anyways, I just wanted to clarify that the rules indicated you always put it back in the cup. So I don't know. It's a interesting clarification. I think it makes it a little easier. So that's why I don't do it, but just wanted to make sure folks understood. Also, it's a lot more cumbersome to do it that way. I like just drawing everything at once. Okay, getting back to this, we are going to turn 1. All right, so what's our threats here? All the planes are only range 1. This whole campaign, they're going to be range 1. So there's no threats at all. So during the fast phase, nobody attacks. Oh, I forgot to check SA points. Hold on. SA 1301 has none. Garnet 441 has 1. So he has 1 SA. Gauntlet 624 has 2. And the flight leader is Gauntlet 624. So we could go during the fast phase. I have these missiles that have a range of 3. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. We're going to have Gauntlet 624 give 1 of his points to him. We're going to shoot a 3-range rocket. So from where we are, we got 1, 2, 3. We can shoot any of these zones. So I just want to go after whatever I can. So this hits with a 7. So it's not the best odds for hitting. So we do have an F-16 here, which is a +0. But I'm going to go after one of the +2s because I just want to kill something. So we'll go after this guy here. So I rolled a 2. That makes it a 4. And see, this makes it a 6. I am 1 short. I don't have my 7 that I need. So I missed. That really blows. But that's what I get for rolling a 2. So now we go to the slow phase. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to shoot my range 3 rocket. I'm going to shoot at the same guy. That time the 3, we just went through the math. The 3 was more than enough. So we at least got rid of 1. And then we're going to go ahead and move in. At the end of our turn, this guy's going to stay. And then these 2 move up. And then this one is going to move to there. So we have 3 guys in range. And we're going to go ahead and start round 2, or turn 2. Okay, so once again, I'm going to spend an SA so he can go fast. And then this one is spend an SA for himself because he has an R60. So they're both going to shoot, he's going to shoot an R73 and this one's going to shoot an R60. So let's start with the R60. I need a 6 to hit. I'm going to go after the F16. I rolled a 4, and I get to add 3 more for a 7. This hits. F16, go bye-bye. Which is very important. That F16 is nasty. He's very good at his craft. So now we're going to shoot this one, which only needs a 5 to hit. And I'm going to shoot at the +1. And I got an 8. And so this guy's done. So we took out 2, which was our job. This guy's going to shoot at us. So now we're going to ECM jam him. That is not going to succeed even with the +1. So he's going to get through and he's going to attack one of us. There are only 3 of us out there. I have a 6-sided die, which I'm going to use. So 1, 2 for 1, 3, 4 for 2, etc. So I rolled a 1, so he's going after Bolt 1301. So Bolt 1301 will take a stress to go into evasive mode. We don't have an ECM jammer with us. Rolled a 7 and a 3. By going evasive, the 3 gets used. This guy, the 3 hits us. And I just realized something. We have +1 to our attack rolls for all pilots for this mission. So that means that first attack where we rolled a 2 and we missed, that actually was a 3 and that would have hit. So this guy's actually destroyed because we basically hit with all 3 of our missiles. We went fast and slow, hit with both of those. That's all I'm trying to say is we got them all. So that guy's not alive to actually hurt us. So now we're going to move in, and now this guy is in range. We don't have an ASA, so now we actually do get attacked. And ECM jam, we jammed him. So now we go. I have an R73 right here. I rolled a 5, 5 hits. Bandit destroyed. We're clear. Then we go here, we're on turn 4. There's actually no sights. So all we have to do is just drop our bombs. So this guy gets a +5 to his dice. This just needs a 6 to hit. I have 6 of them. I do 6 hits. Target destroyed. Don't need to do anything else. Don't even need to roll. This guy has all of his weapons. Everything's good. Destroyed the target. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and go homebound. 1 random pilot who has suffered a missing in action returns to your squad. That's a cool card, but we don't have any of those. And we are good. So let's get out our paper. These weren't the easiest missions. There's definitely been easier missions we've played on both Eagle and this, but it was a smooth mission. That's the way to put it. This was a very smooth mission. So we had everything went the way we planned it. So this was target 3. The Raynets gets 2 more for 15. He needs 18 to level up. All right, and then this one moves the infra track 1 to the right. So let's not forget that. We've already moved them 1 from the other ones, but this moves the infra 1 more. And infra needs to move quite a bit before we start to get bonuses, but it has moved twice, thanks to this. The ops track did not move because none of these were nuclear targets. Okay, getting back to this, we have Bolt 1301. Which is this guy. He's green. He does pretty well for a green pilot. So Bolt 1301 is down here at the bottom. He has 2 of the 3 experience points needed to level up. Then we're going to do Garnet 441. This is our Zampolit pilot. So he's going to add 1 to the loyalty track. We're already as far as we can go. And then he's going to add 1 to the victory points, which was 2. So that makes it 3. So we scored 7 victory points this round, so we're up to 10 at the end of day 2. And then for Garnet 441 here, that is which guy? This one, he already has 2 experience points. He's up to 4. He needs 6. And then Gauntlet 624, he's going to get 2. He needs 12. And we're done. Now, the loyalty track does tell us we get to promote a pilot, which I'm going to assume something here because the rulebook does say when you use the skill that gives you automatic experience points, that any rollover experience, so like if you leveled up and you had 2 more experience points than what was needed to level up, those 2 experience points carry over. Well, if you get if you use that skill that gives you half. So in the case of the Raynets, we got 9 experience points from it. We were able to carry over the 2 leftovers, and that made it 11. That's why he's at 11 here. I'm going to assume that it's the same in this case. I get to promote a pilot, and I'm assuming that whatever experience points they currently have carries over because I'm promoting them full. Now, I could be wrong. It could be just dead wrong in that. But that's what my logic is in this. Because then if that's not true, then it means that the pilots that are close to leveling up aren't worth leveling up in this manner. But with that said, I've been going after the ground control one. I mean, he's at 15 right now. He's actually going to level up at 18 without too much of a hitch. He's at skill. He'll go to veteran. And look at this. He actually has an SA. I forgot about that. That's SA points we can spread around. So he's going to move up to, still give a 1-1-1, I guess. And then eventually he gives extra bonuses. But he's really, really good. Do I want to keep leveling up the ground? I mean, the one cool thing is he got to go on 2 missions, and nobody else does. So there's an argument to be made there. That's not a bad deal. I think I want to make... I have one bomber that's a veteran already. He needs 12 to go to legendary. He's only at 2 out of his 12. I just don't think I want to push him to legendary that quickly. He's doing great as a veteran. I have another one I can get 2 veteran. He's skilled right now. I have all these green pilots and newbie pilots. I can level them up. I honestly don't know. Who do I level up? It's just such a wonderful, overwhelming choice. Part of me thinks I should level up my Zampolit because I want him to come along for the extra victory points. And currently he has 1 cool, and I can maybe get him up to 2 cool, right? So the question becomes, is what's fair? Do we roll over he's currently at 4 experience points out of the 6 needed to level up. If I were to level him up now, he's going to go to skilled, which needs 9. So does that mean he still has 4 experience points towards the 9? Or do I reset it back to 0? That's the first question. And I know I answered it that I believe that his experience points will carry over, but I could be wrong because it doesn't specify in the rulebook or anywhere how that works. The other way to think about it is he's only 2 away from getting average, right? So he's at 4 now. 1 more mission puts him to 6. He'll become skilled, and then you want to level him up because that's a heck of a lot more points. Just think about it in terms of the amount of points you're getting. Leveling up this guy is giving you 9 points, whereas leveling up this one only gives you 6. So assuming that they do get to carry over their experience points, I'm choosing to give this guy 6 points, basically. Whereas somebody else, I'm giving more points. This guy's also average, but see, he's got a 7 on his, so I'm giving him 7 points if I do his. So that's another way to look at it, is you're giving a whole bunch of points. Monocle here, it's going to take 8 points to level him up. And then, well, that's the reason why I've been choosing this guy all the time. Look at that, that's 18. I think at the end of the day, you got to pick the one that's going to help you the most. And yes, the carryover, the rollover thing is important because when I get back to who's going to help me the most, it's the Zampolit, because he's going to give me extra victory points. So I need him to be the most heavy contributor. And right now, he's at 4 experience points. He's 2 away from leveling up. So if I give this to him, okay, fine, his cool didn't go up, but his air to ground improves, right? So he's getting better. If I still have 4 experience points out of 9 because they carry over, I'm not as worried. I leveled him up and I still have 4 experience points just like I did before. The answer to that question really does dictate whether I level this guy up. Because otherwise I'm going to wait one more day, level him up the old-fashioned way, and then give him the freebie, because that's going to be so much more powerful. So I'm going to just assume that maybe the freebie cancels things out. So, looking at this, the Spectre has 0 right now. So the Spectre, I could level him up. Spectre 606, he's green. He only needs 3 to level up. We haven't brought him on any missions because, he's a Spectre. This one is also at 0. And he's also green. He only needs 3 to level up. So it feels like it's a waste to give it to both of them. This Lance 121 only has 2. Like, a lot of these guys only have 2. So maybe I could take the position of, hey, it's okay for them to lose some points here. I mean, I'm finding out that these Spectres aren't horrible. I'm going to level up the Monocle. I know the Monocle has 4 experience points. He needs 8 to level up. But if we move him from skilled to veteran, look at how it changes. We can ignore an event on a 6 instead of 7. That's minor. But his air-to-air bonus goes from 1 to 2. That's huge, because that's the difference between shooting down a plane and not shooting down a plane. Air to ground stays at 1, but look at him. He adds an extra ECM bonus of +1, and they stack. So I'm going to go ahead and promote the Monocle to veteran. And I'm going to assume that the experience points don't carry over. If anything, just for a challenge, right? So we're going to put him at veteran. What this also means then is he's at 0. So for tomorrow, when I choose who to level up, he's an easy candidate because he's at 0. You could look at it that way too. But anyways, there you have it. That was day 2. It's been good. I have a lot of distractions with Thanksgiving week. I have family that has arrived home earlier than I expected. All kinds of fun stuff. Fun distractions, not horrible. And so I'll try to squeeze in when I can. I do have a game day on Friday, which is 2 days from now. This game at a different table than this one. Leave this one alone. But yeah, anyways, lots of good excuses, but these videos are not going to happen very frequently is all I'm trying to say. But there we go. We're at day 2 out of 12. And so far so good. I'm concerned I don't know how to move that ops track. Well, I mean, I do. I have to go to a day where I don't do any missions, which seems counterintuitive. But we got to get some nuclear targets going to move that ops track so that way we can get the other juicier targets added to the mix, or otherwise we're not going to get a good score. So anyways, thanks for watching. As always, stay awesome.